Good morning. We are extremely pleased that you are here. It is good to come together for the purpose of co-creating. Do you agree?
Yes.
You're knowing what you are wanting? A changing thing? Happily? It pleases you that a new desire is occasionally born within you so that you are not dead? Do you like being on the leading edge? The furthest, most summoning point? Are you enjoying the variety, your exposure to others who are different, who help you to conclude beyond that which you have already concluded? You enjoying a new insight, a new desire, even coming to enjoy the eternally incomplete nature of your being? Yes, the answer is yes. That's the most important question that will ever be put to you, really. Because when you stand in your now, aware that there is something new that has just been hatched within you that you would like to experience, but you're not yet a vibrational match to it, so you are not yet experiencing it fully, is still a dream or an idea. And you are so knowing of the way the laws of the universe work, and so knowing from your past experience that when you ask, it is given, and so it's just a matter of time. And so aware that it's only about modulating your own energy, finding the perfect balance between your desire and your allowing. When that happens to you, then you are standing in the place you planned from your non-physical perspective. You knew that when you ask that it would be given, and you knew that the variety that surrounded you would help you to ask. And you knew that in the moment that you ask, that source would answer, that circumstances and events would begin aligning for you. And you knew that the asking was an important part of the expansion of the universe and of the creation of your life. And you knew that you would have to become vibrationally compliant with your own desire. In other words, you knew that you couldn't want something that you didn't believe. You knew that you couldn't have a part of your vibration wanting, but a part of your vibration doubting. You knew that that misalignment within you would cause enough resistance that it would keep you from your own desire. You knew all of that. And still you said, this contrast is so emphatically important to my birthing of a new idea that I am certainly in favor of the variety which will give birth to the new idea. And you knew that you would have to, once you birthed the idea, find a way to bring yourself into harmony with it. So as we begin speaking to you through this format about the science of deliberate creation, science because it is eternally evolving, we talk to you about directing your thought. We talk to you about identifying your desire. We talk to you about using your comparative experience in order to choose. We talk to you about becoming aware of what you want. We talk to you about deliberately wanting, deliberately guiding your thought. We talk to you about what we are now calling step one, which is the asking part. Ask and ask and ask and ask and get clearer and clearer about what you are asking for. And then we began putting emphasis on step three. What happened to step two, you ask? Step two is not your work. Step one is you ask. Step two is source answers. Step three is your work. You let it in. So we've encouraged you about step one. We've encouraged you to think about what you're doing. We've encouraged you to set your goals. We've encouraged you to identify what you want. We've encouraged you to collect data. We've encouraged you to write it down. We've encouraged you to script it in detail. We've encouraged you to get as clear as you can be about what you want. And now we are encouraging you to understand that once you have asked, that your work about the asking is done, and once you have asked, then relative to anything you are asking for, it's time for you to go past step 2 to step 3. In other words, you don't have to keep asking. Now, you can keep amending, you can keep adding to what you want, you can continue to clarify, because Source never tires of hearing and never tires of answering. But for your own ability to receive, you have to stop asking where it is. You have to stop asking as if somebody needs to hear it one more time, and start trusting or believing or expecting or allowing it to come. That's where people come to say, let go and let God. And you say, well, how do I be a deliberate creator and let go and let God? And we say, the let go and let God is in the stage 3. That's where you relax and trust that what you're asking for has been answered. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, the way we would experience this delicious leading edge time-space reality is we would ask, and then we would work to find comfort in statements about that. In other words, when you ask for something and you feel ease whenever you think about it, then you are asking and you are allowing, and everything is in alignment and it is unfolding for you. But sometimes we see you asking for things that you want to come to you that seem stubbornly not willing. Or we see you wanting to get rid of things that seem stubbornly attached to you. And we see you asking and asking and asking and asking, but not getting into the allowing place. And so what we're really wanting you to begin to feel as hands-on deliberate creators is how to ask and how far to go in the asking before you start working on the allowing, and then how far to go in the allowing before you start working on the asking. In other words, is this constant balance between getting clear about what you want and then letting it be, getting clear about what you want and then letting it be, getting clear about what you want and then letting it be. Nothing will ever stand still, and nothing will ever be complete. And so until you get comfortable with that dance, you're not going to be happy in your body. You're not going to be happy in this time-space reality. You're not going to be happy wanting things that haven't happened yet. And you're not going to feel comfortable in just sitting back and letting God do what you think you should do. In other words, you are creators. You like to create. You like to get your hands in the clay. You like to be active in molding your life experience. But sometimes you ask without letting it in, and then you get frustrated. You ask and you don't believe. You need and then you don't expect. And when you do that, you feel horrible to ask for something and summon that powerful source energy through you, and then to hold thoughts that contradict it puts you in a very uncomfortable place. And then you say, oh, it must not be appropriate for me to want, because when I stop wanting, as if you could, when I stop fanning the flames of this desire, I feel better. And we say, yes, the reason that you feel better when you stop fanning the flames of the desire that you don't believe is that you stop the sensation of resistance. And we want so much for you to come to realize that you've set up the resistance. You're the only one who can hinder you in any way. You can blame it on somebody else. You can blame it on the economy or the government. You can blame it on anything that you want to, but you are the keeper of your vibration. And when you decide that you want to feel good, when you decide you're going to mold your energy, when you decide you're going to want and then allow, identify desire and then bask in it, then not only do you feel wonderful all of the time, those who see you think you have a magic wand, because it seems that all you have to do is lay your eyes in the direction of something desired and it flows easily into your experience. They see you passionate and loving. They see you kind and considerate. They see you appreciative and willing. They see you so secure within yourself that you never beat up on somebody else to make yourself feel better. They see you complete and whole. They see you feeling good. They see you full of you. It's so good to be full of you. When you're full of you, you're like the children who cannot get enough of whatever they're involved in. You're like the child who seems tireless doesn't need to sleep, wants to play one more time. So what are we talking about here? Are we teaching the science of deliberate creation, which means think about what you want? Or are we teaching the art of allowing, which means pet your cat and don't think about what you want? We're teaching whatever it takes for you to feel good. And for every one of you, it will be a different recipe in different moments. Because sometimes you want something so badly you can taste it. What's that tell you? You're full of resistance. You want it so much it hurts. You say, I want that so bad it hurts. And we say, it's going to be a while on this one. So get used to the pain. Or you say, thinking about that just makes me happy. And we say, then it's on its way, if not already here. When you say, I've wanted this for so long, I can't remember not wanting this. We say, it's going to be a while. When you say, that's a good idea. Bam. Manifestation. When you say, wouldn't it be nice if? Bam. It's right there. When you say, you know what I really like about that? There it is, again and again. When you say, you know what I really don't like about that? There it is, again and again. In other words, you are the focuser. You get to point your attention in the direction of anything that you choose. And then you got to line up with it. That's all. So, if you're looking at something tragic and you feel horrible while you're looking at it, guess what? You're lined up. When you look at something not wanted like cancer and you feel horrible as you're looking at it, you're lined up with it. But an easier way to hear that is when you feel bad, you're not lined up with what you do want. In other words, we don't want you to begin to think that there is this source of good and this source of bad. And when you feel good, you're in alignment with the source of good. And when you feel bad, you're in alignment with the source of bad. Although it plays out exactly that way. What we would rather you understand is that there is a stream of well-being, and the better you feel, the more in alignment with it you are. And when you don't feel good, you are somehow doing that thing you do, which is keeping you from being a vibrational match to the well-being that is natural to you, that really is you. So why are you here? It seems like it should have been more. It seems like there should be more to it. It should be more complicated. After all, I've devoted thousands of lifetimes to this understanding. I'm on the leading edge of thought. I paid $150 to get here. Shouldn't there be more to this? And we say, oh, there's a lot more, but it all falls under the category of joy. It's all for joy. It's all for your exhilarating life experience. It's all for our joy. All of this exists so that you can continue to expand in joy. Did we say all of this exists so that you can joyfully expand? Well, the expansion is inevitable. But if joy is your goal, it certainly is ours. Then, and only then, are we able to stay in balance. If you get growth out there as your goal, then you lose your barometer. You lose your sense of where you are in your balance of desire and allowing. Joy has to be the only thing that matters to you, or you'll lose that balance. And oh, heaven help you, and Abraham too, if you ever make growth your goal. Because when growth is your goal, you work so hard, you lose your connection, and then you set up a wall of resistance, and then you ask harder and harder, you work longer and longer, you feel worse and worse, your desires stay further and further away, you walk forward and so do they, you walk forward and so do they, an elusive dream it seems. But when you make joy your dominant quest, then you can feel, time for me to put more emphasis on the specifics of what I want. Time for me to put less emphasis on the specifics of what I want. And time for me to relax and bask in things already accomplished and things already appreciated.